Let's dive in. This is a deep topic. It's a heavy topic. Being with shame is not easy. It was probably the hardest emotion for me to be with, let me tell you. I'm going to be dead honest with you guys. And those that have been in Thrivers for a while, you guys have heard me say this. Like when the person was helping me was like, Michelle, you have to befriend your shame and you have to love your shame. I was ready to walk out. I was like, are you kidding me? I don't want that. I don't want shame. Why would I want shame? But what I had to learn was it's not that I am shame, but there was a piece of me that was stuck feeling it. And until I did embrace it and learn to work with it and work with the body, it was ruining my life because it wouldn't let me be me. It wouldn't let me until I took care of it. So that's what I hope we do this month. We start giving attention to the pieces of us that might still be carrying shame so they can get what they need. Our motive is not to get rid of them because that's self-abandonment. Okay, we want to embrace and collect together our pieces because they deserved something different than they got. Okay, so the first thing that I thought would be important for us to understand is the difference between guilt and shame, because how it shows up and how we respond to it are different. And we really want to highlight shame this month. So these are some differences that I've come across, and feel free to share in the chat box any ones that I may have missed. Okay. Guilt takes place. It's an emotion when we feel like we made a mistake. We did something wrong. We did something bad, right? It's something we did, but it doesn't define us. Shame takes it to a new level. And it's not I made a mistake. It's I am a mistake. It's not I did something bad. It's I am bad. So it really intertwines with our whole self-identity. Guilt is a healthy emotion that is communicating to us that we've either gone outside of our own integrity, or maybe we've bypassed the boundaries of someone else that they let us know. And it's telling us, basically it's communicating, oops, we shouldn't have done that. We need to change. We need to be better. So it's a healthy emotion that motivates us to take care of whatever caused it. Shame isn't healthy. Toxic shame is not healthy because it kind of causes us to implode on ourselves. It makes us feel as if we're so bad. We're so unworthy. We have no integrity, that it just wants to attack the self. Rather than attack the problem, it attacks the self. I heard someone say in a video or an article that I read recently when I was going over this information, that guilt is kind of a higher level emotion because it comes on after, I guess around the age of 3, or about that time period when you start seeing yourself as separate from your parents, as not an extension of your parents. And so you're able to have perspective where you do something and to you it might have been fine, but you realize that the other person has a different perspective, and it motivates you to reflect and grow. So it requires higher level thinking. It might have felt good and okay to you, but you start realizing that it was not okay to the other person. And this is the interesting thing about narcissists, because narcissists are shame-bound people, right? They have a core identity of shame as well, but they don't feel guilt, right? They don't see the person as as someone separate. So shame happens in childhood. When we're born, we see ourselves, I should say, as an extension of our parents. We haven't learned that we're separate yet. And so we're attached to our caregivers. And when that caregiver makes us feel shame and we don't see a difference between that person and us, it's almost as if we want to disintegrate and implode. It's so overwhelming to the system. A lot of people, when they talk about shame, will say things like, and I just feel like I'm going to die, because you feel when it was originated, it was from your caregiver, and it's like you don't see yourself as separate. And again, it just feels like you're going to die. Guilt is preoccupied with the perspective of the other person, whereas shame is preoccupied with the perspective of self. I did this. I'm so bad. I'm so stupid. I hate myself. And the last difference that I put here, not that this is an all-inclusive list, but guilt, when we feel guilt, we feel the desire to reach out, connect, and make amends. With shame, we feel the desire to disconnect and to isolate. And we're so overly focused on how terrible we are that we're not even thinking of what we need to do to make amends, or even if we have to, or anything about that. It's just this whole imploding of how bad we feel. So just kind of taking that in for a moment and really seeing how intense the emotion of shame is.